Deep within the quiet forests of northeastern France, not far from the infamous battlefields of Verdun, lies a place that even many history enthusiasts barely know: Camp Marguerre. Between overgrown concrete ruins, moss-covered walls, and abandoned paths stands one of the most unusual relics of the First World War. At first glance, the camp appears like a forgotten ghost town, but behind the ruins lies a fascinating story of technology, military strategy, and the industrial dimension of war. The camp was established in 1915 under the direction of the German engineer officer and later Major Hans Marguerre. While fierce fighting raged on the front around Verdun battlefield, an important testing ground for modern concrete construction was created here. The German army quickly realized that traditional shelters could no longer withstand increasingly powerful artillery attacks. For this reason, systematic experimentation with concrete began here, at the time still a relatively new technology in military construction. At Camp Marguerre, different bunker models were tested and pioneer troops were trained in new construction methods. The site was far more than a simple camp. It included workshops, accommodations, storage buildings, and a specialized concrete factory known as the BFA of the Fifth Army, which produced construction materials for bunkers throughout the region. Techniques were developed here to cast stable shelters directly in the field or assemble them from prefabricated parts that could later be transported to the front. The objective was clear: build faster, build stronger, and protect soldiers more effectively from artillery fire. Particularly impressive is how modern many of these structures were for their time. Some of the concrete shelters still possess remarkably well-preserved walls and ceilings today. Despite more than 100 years of weather, decay, and war damage, numerous buildings still stand in the forest, silent, abandoned, and mysterious. Anyone walking through the camp today experiences a strange atmosphere. Nature has reclaimed large sections of the area. Trees grow through old walls, moss covers the concrete, and an almost unsettling silence hangs between the ruins. It is precisely this contrast between nature and military architecture that makes the site so fascinating. Unlike many well-known locations around Verdun, Camp Marguerre does not directly show trench warfare itself, but rather the industrial side of the conflict. It demonstrates how strongly the First World War was already shaped by technology, material battles, and logistical planning. Millions of soldiers faced each other not only with rifles. Behind the front lines, engineers, construction workers, and specialized units worked continuously to create increasingly effective protective structures. Nearby are other famous First World War locations, including Fort Douaumont, one of the most important forts of the Battle of Verdun. Yet Camp Marguerre remains to this day a largely unknown place, far away from major tourist crowds. Perhaps that is exactly why this location leaves such a strong impression. There are no large visitor centers, no loud crowds, and hardly any modern interventions. Only forest, concrete, and the traces of a dark period that changed Europe forever. Camp Marguerre reminds us that history is often hidden in the most inconspicuous places, silent and warning among the trees. But this was only the beginning of our journey through this forgotten concrete city. What the camp was truly used for, and what exactly happened there, will be revealed in the second part of our video. So stay tuned. If you enjoyed this insight into history, follow us and leave a like. We will see you in the next part.